The Stonegate project is a major improvement in the development of the Stonegate area, i.e., the avoiding of flooding of properties, both business and homes invested in the Stonegate area. We welcome the opportunity to invest for the city in partnership with the federal government and state government to invest in the Stonegate area in improving the drainage infrastructure. It comes at a time when the people of the Stonegate area have been flooded on more than one occasion by the deluge of water in that area. So the intention here is to improve the infrastructure so that we avoid what has happened in the past, i.e., during the Harvey period in the Stonegate area.
Can you introduce yourself?
Ron Burton, City Manager, City of Port Arthur.
Read my name out loud. Yeah, your dad been looking for me. Yeah,
know, especially those who lived here at the time when Hurricane Harvey hit us, people in this area suffered tremendously. Some of you probably were in the boats on Jimmy Johnson, traveling up and down, trying to rescue folks. To complete the design, go through the bureaucracy of the government to get this money approved. And we have one of the best contractors in this area doing this project, which is Bright Star Contracting. We have Pam Langford, the Assistant City Manager. Trying to relate the people who are on the project. John Canatella, City Engineer. Mr. Casimir, he's one of the engineering staff members. Martin Flood will be on the inspection side of the project. And Jennifer Edwards is the capital program manager for the city of Port Arthur. The limits of the projects are, and basically we're gonna go down Jimmy Johnson from the golf course where you saw it start already. All the water from that area down Jimmy Johnson to the golf course, and then from the golf course is gonna be pumped to the Drainage District 7 ditch that's behind the Waffle 2. They try to maintain a -3, but they can go as low as a -2. So that gives us the ability to transfer a lot more water to that ditch than previously we were able to. So with this project, you can have a 100-year flood and the water shouldn't even stay on the roads. It should be transferred to these ponds on the golf course and pumped into that ditch. Doesn't mean we are gonna be 100% safe. We're gonna be in a much better position. The water is gonna move out of this area much faster. But please keep on your minds that if we have an 800-year flood coming, you know about it, evacuate. Do not stay in the area if you
start on that section first. We'll be working in the golf course, and we've set up barricades to move traffic around on Jimmy Johnson. We'll be starting to install the 8x4 boxes on Jimmy Johnson here within the next couple of weeks. We have about a year's worth of work on Jimmy Johnson. As we progress with the pond enlargement on the golf course, we'll be working on that as well. And once that starts wrapping up, we'll go over to the 9th Street side of the project, start there on the golf course with the ponds over there, dewatering and the enlargement of those ponds to accept the box culverts that we're gonna lay down here with y'all for a while. That's working days with weather delays and other things that we'll be dealing with. You know, I'm sure it's gonna run out further couple different traffic control setups. The one we have in place currently, is to allow us to get the box culverts from the ponds over to the middle of Jimmy Johnson where they're being installed. But that's not the way it's gonna be permanently throughout the project, where the two lanes are all on one side, we'll do the concrete replacement on the other. There's gonna be a lot of changing of what you're seeing out there now. 9th Avenue is gonna be very similar. We'll have to move everything to one side to get across to the center. Once we get in the center, we'll move everything out. We'll do the work down the center. We don't have as much paving work scheduled on 9th Avenue, but there will be some times we'll move traffic around there to accommodate it. Obviously, the work on the golf course is gonna be going throughout the project, enlarging the golf.
Exactly what the toughest you talking about?
One lane traffic.
Okay, and when you say one lane, that means the scope of work is gonna be what to achieve what goal?
Currently, the scope of work on Oak Lawn is to lay a new box culvert down what I'll call the south side of the road. Once that, and we go down about 650 foot from the intersection, and then we tie back into the existing storm sewer on Golf Hill.
Golf course, there's a storm ditch in the back of my house, and there's also a culvert that drains, and the ditch drains into the culvert. Is that gonna be replaced, or are you gonna do any improvements on that? Because right now it's a metal, and I think it may be about 18 to 20 inches wide. Is that, because when it rains real hard, it holds water and it drains real slow. Is that part of your scope of work as well? It's the 17th hole of the golf course.
Yes, sir. Somebody will contact you tomorrow and go over all this with you and let you know if at that particular address, is there any work going on in the backside?
For the record, my name is Lawrence Bates.
653
goes all the way to Christine Dahl's house and Womack Carroll Estate. That's up to 650 feet.
You bring to our attention issues that you are having, so we can look at our project and see, is it gonna resolve it? If it's not gonna resolve it, how can we incorporate it in this project to resolve it? So we appreciate you bringing that up, but let us look at it, so we don't just give you an answer tonight shooting from the hip, but we'll take a look at it. Martin will contact you.
Comment
At the other end, I live at the tee box on 17. And I know where he's talking about with the holes, but when it starts raining, all the way up to the tee box backs up with water.
We will take it.
There will be times when we're working there where there'll be a concrete truck that's blocking the road, okay? Because as we're pouring concrete, we're driving along beside the lane, we're pouring on the lane that we're all sharing for ingress and egress. Anything that we have out in that lane is just temporary. It will be moving. It's not gonna sit there forever, so your patience on that is appreciated. As far as emergency access, there will be one lane available. If we're blocking that and there, fire truck ambulance shows up, we will clear that lane as quickly as possible.
Part of stand for informed fire, police, EMS, so they will be aware of these closures and where they are. So if they need to reroute around them, they will be able to.
One of the things that
Or a message via your phone, but we will let you know how that is gonna progress.
Yeah, 'cause
once
I know,
we get to these neighborhoods.
yeah, 'cause I know when, on Wednesdays, when the guys were relocating the gas lines, here comes the trash truck down the street, and they park right where the trash truck usually gets access to your toter, and they see the truck coming, and they don't move their cars, so the trash truck keeps going. Okay. That's a big issue.
Can I ask you about the map over there? Are the yellow lines where they're gonna be working.
The area where the work is gonna take place. And yes, the yellow, I'm listening, yes, ma'am. That, yeah.
Our current flow in any fashion during the storm season, and could we get a possible benefit before it's completed?
Where exactly with this project, but like what we just did at the golf course itself, by widening the ditch, putting these boxes to transfer the water to the ponds at the golf course, that has an immediate positive impact on the area. So the benefits are already being seen today.
It's a citizen improvement to, what we currently have. But I got a two-part question. One is the temporary access to all the businesses on Jimmy. What is the long-term solution to have, permanent access to all the new businesses that we have on Jimmy Johnson? Jimmy Johnson has changed over the past few years, and we want to make sure that, you know, these new businesses have access from both sides of the street. On a Jimmy Johnson, we have a problem from Gulffield getting on a Jimmy Johnson, and we have a problem from Oakmont getting on a Jimmy Johnson. And if you're lucky, every now and then you can see an overturned car in the middle of Jimmy Johnson because somebody tried to hurry up and rush to get out of one of those streets to turn onto Jimmy Johnson. And I've been complaining about it for years, but I hope this we're finally there, or we can get something done on there.
So at no time should any of these businesses be denied access. And I know you all own these 3 buildings on Jimmy Johnson that all their driveways intermingle, so there might be some inconvenience to where you have to get from one driveway to get to the other building, for example, but at all times you are gonna have access. As far as the turning lane, the 5th lane, this project does not, let me finish the sentence, don't kill me first. Let me finish after the comma. This project does not have an item in it to replace that median with reinforced concrete drive.
Well, that particular idea, I think, you know, Fatty's absolutely right. We bought that, Don Frank and I bought that to manager about 2 years ago, about taking away the median. We spoke with you. We have a lot of accidents, and one of the things that we bought to the manager, and also we had to get a study from the police chief about the accidents there, so that's why it took so long, Fatty. You just can't do that because of that type of value point from the chief. You got to do a study.
Yeah.
But it was always on the manager's preview, and also Dr. Haney's preview that was going up by the council, that we wanted to try to do something differently, because in the last 3 years, chief, maybe 6 accidents, something like that, right there, turnover cars. So, but we had to get that information from the chief, so it wasn't a point that we didn't act upon it, we just had to, you know, provide that type of information.
Yes.
That's right. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. You already spoke about how Golf Hill will be probably the most greatly.
On the schedule, when is the? Roughly.
No, we're realistically, right now, we're looking at about 90 days.
From now?
Before starting there. And just so you know, and I know we put flyers out, hopefully most of y'all got them, at your houses. But, you know, the week before we're getting ready to start, we'll issue flyers saying, look, we're gonna, you know, breaking concrete this day, setting up barricades this day. So we'll give you notice on that.
And Lon and myself, we're on the golf committee, and so we can't go anywhere without being questioned about how it's going to impact the golf course. People love to play the Bay. It's the best golf course in this area. When it rains, people can always play because it drains so well. So for those individuals who stopped me at the Y and stopped calling them and called Deneen and all of that, they were trying to figure out, are we gonna go to a 9-hole? Is it gonna stay open? Is it gonna be closed? What are the dynamics and how it's going to affect the golf course during this process?
City directed us in bidding this project, and, you know, we're making every effort to keep everything open. Now, is some of it impacted? If you've been out there on the course, you can see some of it's impacted because we have equipment on the site. We're traveling through the golf course with equipment. That's gonna
bit
continue.
more information about the golf course. We had a meeting with our golf course committee, the 17th, which was last week. We met with management on the course, and they're not planning on changing anything. The golf course is not gonna close. They've got tournaments and things scheduled all the way through October of 2024. Business as usual. None of the holes are being configured. We're not closing the front 9 or the back 9 or anything. So it's business as usual. So if
So
you've
the
got,
whole course is ground under repair, is that correct?
I'm sorry?
The whole course is ground under repair?
No.
No, that would be good, we get to put the ball wherever we want.
Well, yeah, it would, no. So your friends that are golfers, if any of your golfers, my husband and I play at the Babe, let them know, because there's been lots of rumors going around. I've been getting calls, my cohorts on council, I'm sure have gotten calls. It's business as usual. We're not changing a par 4 to a par 5. We're not closing any holes, so business as usual.
When it comes to infrastructure, in the last 5 years, the city of Port Arthur has been on steroids compared to previous years that can go back 70, 80 years. It's happening because we have the right management and we have a group of politicians that are all for infrastructure rehabilitation. Without those two elements working with each other to make it happen, it would have been impossible. Today, the city of Port Arthur has over $200 million in infrastructure replacement or rehabilitation. Over 200 million. And the great news about that is the majority of that money, or not the majority of it, but I can easily say over 50% of it is federally or state funded. We have a $75 million sanitary sewer plant rehabilitation project on Proctor Street that's gonna take the city's plant from the 16th century and put it in the 23rd century. So we have so much work going on that we all should be very proud of. It hasn't happened before. And we have to keep this momentum. We cannot slack on infrastructure rehabilitation. We're finally catching up from years and years and years of nothing being done to where we're starting to see daylight. We're starting to see less overflows on the sanitary sewer side, less stormwater coming to the treatment plants, more streets being rehabilitated. The city today have an in-house street rehabilitation crew that is performing street rehab at 30% of contractor cost. The city has an in-house pipe bursting crew that's replacing sanitary sewer pipe every day at 45% of contractor's cost. These are things that haven't happened in Port Arthur before, and we should be grateful that they're happening. We should support the management and the council members and the mayor that are pushing forward for them. And we cannot slow down the momentum. We have to stay on this path, because without infrastructure, there is no city. We all experienced 2 weeks ago what happened on the water side, where we lost the pressure in the system. We had to do a citywide boil water notice. And we have several projects in the works to prevent this from happening ever again. We have applied for $167 million worth of water works just from the Texas Water Development Board. We're meeting with all these industries trying to get them involved. There's more going on behind the scenes than you just see going on the streets and in the alleys. So we need your support, we need your help, we need you all to help us change this image that the city has. Help us change the image. We are doing better. We will continue to do better. And we're changing the culture, which is the most important part. We are changing the culture. We need to continue doing that.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for coming. Without you, there would be no community, okay? So we appreciate the fact that you're paying taxes, and we appreciate the fact that we can add value to your properties, to your homes. Communication is key. I think Kinlaw made the point here. Communication is key. And we are going to use every medium possible to make sure that we communicate with you. Please communicate with us. You won't hurt our feelings, okay? Tell us how you feel. We will get back to you in an appropriate time, and we will be transparent, very transparent with you in what we do, okay? You are the reason why we are here, and we appreciate that part of it. Thank you so very much for being part of what we do in the city of Port Arthur.
Any of the council members would like to say something at the same time on that job so it can go faster and minimize the destruction of driveways and roads.